What is up, Bucs fans? Bucs Universe here, and this will be my first YouTube video on the new channel. Shout out to Bucs Football for the idea. Make sure to check his YouTube out as well. It's Bucs Football with a space. And follow him on Instagram at Bucs Football. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram, it's at Bucs Universe. So, to start it off here, obviously this is my first video, so I'm just going to do a little outlook on the season so far. As you know, we are 4-5 now, sitting at second place in the NFC South, and while there are a lot of glaring holes in our team on offense and defense, we do have some upsides too, with mainly being Mike Evans. He's been a monster this year after kind of a up and down second season with a lot of drops and only 2 touchdowns. He's really picked it up for us, and he's been a main part of our offense. I think a lot of our issues have come due to injuries, especially with that to Doug Martin. Without Doug Martin, Jacquizz Rodgers filled in nicely, but we did not have that same presence at running back that we did while he was healthy. Now, I think if Doug Martin can get back to being healthy, we can see the team that we saw in Week 1 against the Falcons. Now, let's talk about our issues. Obviously, on defense. On defense, our main issue is our safety position. Now, Bradley McDougald has been sensational for us, and I think he's definitely a key part to our future. But Chris Conte, he had a big game in Chicago with the pick 6 and his return, but overall, Chris Conte has been somewhat of a disappointment, and I think we definitely need to address that this offseason. There are a lot of free agents, such as Eric Berry, that being the main name, and there are also a lot of good draft prospects. Some have been looking at Jamal Adams, the safety at LSU. I think that would be our best option at this point, but you know, this is all just talk at this point. You never know what's going to happen. We never know if we're going to re-sign Conte, but I think that definitely needs to be addressed, as well as the cornerback position. Brent Grimes has been sensational for us. He's done exactly what we've needed him to do, being a veteran presence in that locker room and making plays for us on the defensive side. So I think we definitely have potential there, especially with Hargraves there as well. Excuse me. But, yeah, that's been an issue for us. Hargraves obviously is young. We've kind of thrown him right in, so he has had issues covering the more elite receivers, such as the Julio Joneses and the Amari Coopers, as you saw 2 weeks ago against Oakland. But I think with Hargraves as our future, Judah J. Barima's look good. I think we definitely have some key guys to build off of for sure. And we have a little bit of Ryan Smith, too, who is our safety. Once he progresses, he might be able to take over Conte's spot and or move to corner. Now, we never know what's going to happen, but overall, those are our main spots we need to address. Our linebacking core has been pretty strong this year. Levante David is sensational as always. Quan Alexander keeps progressing, and I think that he could be a big impact on this defense for the next 5 to 10 years if we can re-sign him and keep him here. That's another reason why I think Jamal Adams would be a great addition, because of the chemistry that goes with 2 LSU defenders, and I think that would be huge for us to build with Hargraves, Quan Alexander, Levante David, and Vernon Hargraves. I think that would be a great secondary, a great defense overall. Now, let's move to the offensive side. Obviously, our running backs have been an issue this season, but mainly due to injuries. Doug Martin is a star. We all know that. We've seen what he can do. Jacquizz Rodgers did play well until he got injured. And we have Peyton Barber as our number 3 now, and he's really proved himself as well. So I think we definitely have good backs for the future. Obviously, we have Jameis Winston, who has shown lots of flashes of potential. He's kind of regressed coming into his second year, but you know, I think he's going to be just a stud in the future. That's pretty obvious. I already mentioned Mike Evans, but we do have some glaring spots at receiver. Adam Humphries is looking good as our slot guy, but other than that, it's a hot mess. Cecil Shorts, hate to say it, has been a huge disappointment. has one of the worst Pro Football Focus ratings out of any receiver in the league. When he does get a target, usually he drops it. I hate to say it, but we definitely need a new wide receiver too. With Vincent Jackson out for the year, probably nearing the end of his career, we definitely need some new receivers. I think we need to look either in the draft with the second round selection or in our free agency class, with one big name being Alshon Jeffrey to pair with Mike Evans would be great for our offense and our chemistry. Cameron Brate's been solid as well. He's just a good target who will catch touchdowns for us, and he's dependable. I like him. Our offensive line is young. Ali Marpet looks very, very good. Looks like he can be a star for us in the future. Donovan Smith has struggled a little bit this year, but keep in mind he's a starting tackle just now in his second year, so I think we cut him a little bit of slack. DeMar Dotson has been a disappointment this year with lots of penalties, and he's really regressed, so we might need to evaluate our tackle spot. Obviously, we would have J.R. Sweezy, but he's been on the PUP list all year, and he's not even expected to play this year, which is obviously a huge blow considering how much money we spent on him. Hopefully he can come back and play for us next year, but as of now, that did not turn out well for us, obviously. So, obviously we do have a lot of strengths, but we do have a lot of weaknesses on this team. 4-5, we have to, in order to make the playoffs, I'd say we have to be at least 9-7, and I just don't think this is our year to make the playoffs. I think if we build for the next year or two, we can be a team that is consistently in the playoffs, but for now, I think that we are a 6 or 7 win team at best, and I think it's time for us to start rebuilding for the future. That's about all for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at Bucs Universe, and let's hope to keep doing this in the future.